Since I guess my late teens, early 20s, I always knew that I wanted to be retired by the time that I was 40, which is a big ask. But that was the plan. And as it turned out, I retired at the age of 33, 34. But it was in an unexpected way, but nonetheless, I retired due to disability. After my diagnosis with multiple sclerosis, I kept working for about another year, I think, with my own restaurant. But it became too much. And that was it. That was the last thing I did in terms of any meaningful job, employing people. And since then, that was 18 years ago. So I'm retired 18 years now. Yeah? You're probably still working. Maybe you're retired too. But it's not the norm to be retired at such a young age. There are plenty of retirement clubs for over 60s. There's not many for people in their 30s. So it was humiliating in many ways, because suddenly I'm effectively poor, can't do the things that I used to do with ease, suddenly are not possible at all. And I needed to settle into living a much reduced lifestyle. And there's only so much you can reduce. You can only do so much with your utility bills and your essential bills, your food. I mean, it was not an easy beginning for me with the whole setup. I was no longer able to participate in the social scene. And I had been a very social person. If there was a party, I was there. I was very often the last person to leave the party, having had a great time, meeting so many people. I met so many people in my life. I'm very lucky for that. But I didn't meet with so many people. I met many very wealthy, very successful people. Didn't meet so many who were actually retired, though. They were all still working, even as older people. So they never took their foot off the gas. I guess you could say I had my foot chopped off, so I couldn't use the gas no more. Something like that. And it took 3 years maybe to settle in to the new boat, having been on a comfortable boat, now having to downgrade to a lesser boat out on the sea still. Um, and as they say, you get used to anything. So you will. You'll adjust, you'll adapt. And I did. And I today I couldn't be happier. Is the honest truth. I'm very happy with my life. Um, but being retired is a strange space to be in. And it's not like, traditional retirement and you maybe get a part-time job or something, or I can't even do that. And I have a friend who, like me, has multiple sclerosis, and he was getting a hard time recently from a friend of his saying, you sit home all day, you do nothing, why don't you go get a part-time job, do something? He doesn't get it. Unless you've got it, you don't get it really with multiple sclerosis. Even neurologists, unless they're actually a specialist in multiple sclerosis, they probably won't get it either. It's a very complicated illness. It's invisible. I look great, I know, thank you very much, but my capacity to do things, the fatigue, things like this, is the thing. So it's not like you have an active retirement. You know what I'm saying? I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything in my retirement. It's just the end of life, kind of. It's not, but it's kind of. I can understand very much how people feel lonely because it's not a problem for me. I don't see many people at all. People would say you're lonely. No, I'm not. But I can totally understand how for many it would be a problem. You have to be pretty tough to, go from up in the clouds to down in the gutter. But I like it. I like life. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a single thing. No. Just you rewind, say you're not going to have MS. No. The way it is the way it is, and let it roll as it rolls. I'm happy with everything. Being retired. Yeah. It's kind of a bit like winning 100 million on the lottery. It seems great, but once it happens, you quickly see that you're kind of alone in your situation. I don't know many people. There is no community that I know of around me here with MS. I don't see anybody. And some of them are still working. They're fighters, as they would say, refusing to let go. I let go. I let go when I saw how bad it was. I don't know if it's still the case, but at the time, back in 2008, according to my MRIs, I had the worst, no, that's the wrong word, I had the most severe multiple sclerosis that they'd ever seen on presentation with a first MRI scan. I had more than 40 brain lesions, which is a lot. So I did my reading and my research, and I agreed that this was indeed severe. I was in a wheelchair soon after, and soon after that I was in a mobility scooter, and soon after that I was flat on my back in bed, and I lay there for about a year trying to find out what I could do. And I found out, I did discover what I could do. I found a new drug, still in trials. I fought for it, I got it, and that drug worked for me. So that was the beginning of my retirement. It was good, it was a happy one. It was like I had to choose an island, which island I was going to go retire on. I go, that drug, this drug. I said, there's this new drug over here, I want to go that one. And I went that one, and it worked out. We're all different. Everybody's journey is different. Fully aware of that. But it's a lonely island that I'm on. It's peaceful. I don't work, I don't need to work, I don't have to work. I like to work, I try to work. I'm researching and reading and learning all the time. That's about all I can do, because I start to write something, or like for instance, I'm writing song lyrics. I've got quite a few songs together, but unfinished. Trying to finish them? Yeah, right. That's what I look at every day. It's my garden. I just sit here. I hear the street, I hear the traffic, I hear the airplanes passing over. I like the airplanes. I could use one of those flight tracker app things to see what they are, but I have no interest. Why would I care? I'm not a flight tracker kind of person in that kind of a way much. Train spotting, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, train spotting. I like watching nature and how it changes. So, yeah, this is retired life. It's boring. I like that because it gives me time to think, and I know that most people do not have boring lives at all. Just talking to a friend of mine, he's had to make something like 27 international flights in the last 6 weeks or month, maybe even. He's insane schedule. He's very high up guy in what he does, but that's insane hectic. For no money would I do it, but they do it, and the thing is, they keep doing it. And he just told me he was talking with his doctor. He says he would like to see him come in for a chat about his scheduling and stuff. He's working too much. He knows it himself. But some people, they do it. I know quite a few people who did it until they couldn't do anymore and they'd be dead now. And that's sad, you know. I don't plan to. I do plan to live quite a long time. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good.